Hi there, and welcome to this milestone episode, episode number 100 of the Ratliff Mandolins weekly production diary. My name is Audie, and I'm going to tell you about the things that have happened around the mandolin shop this week. We've been binding peg heads, and we've got a green mandolin to talk about. But first, we're going to continue on with our Luthier's yard sale. I'm trying to get rid of some stuff that's just built up around here that maybe somebody out there might want. And so let's start off with some books that I've got that I'd like to sell. I'm going to call all of this item number 7, but actually there's 4 different books in here. And we'll start with this one right here. It's a very good book on violin making, very well laid out, well planned book, some really good drawings. Man, if you want to build a fiddle or a violin, this would be the book to buy, and you've never done it before. That is the book to buy. Bowed Psaltery book, some really good information in there about bowed psalteries if you don't know about them, and then of course there's a whole bunch of songs laid out. Gibson Electrics. This one is still in the shrink wrap. I checked this one today on Amazon. It was $27. So, and it, like I said, it is brand new. It's never been opened. It's still in the shrink wrap. And then we have good old gospel songs. It says 250 songs in there. So, with just the words and chords on top of them. So, there's my books. $10, $10. 20 and 5. So if you're interested in any of these books, this is item number 7 in the yard sale. Now, I didn't shoot a lot of video of actual work going on, some but not a whole lot this week, but I did shoot on Wednesday sort of a midweek check-in with you guys. So we're going to run that right now. I'm going to tell you everything that I got done up to Wednesday, just a little bit after lunch. And again, don't go away. I'll be right back. It is Wednesday afternoon, about 2 o'clock, so it's about time for my midweek check-in with you. The status report for what I've gotten done up till now, and what I have done and concentrated on this week has been the peghead binding on the 5 mandolins in this batch that are left that are going to be bound around the peg head. What I normally do and what I've done with these 5 is I'll glue a piece of binding on the first one, and then I'll glue a piece of binding on the second one, just work my way down the line, and then when I get to the last one, usually there's been enough time pass where I can go back and get another piece of binding wrapped on this one and work my way back down the line again. So that's what I have done all week, is just kind of went around in a circle and put binding on these 5 mandolin peg heads. Now, this morning I glued the last piece of binding on mandolin number 1. And so it is the first one of the batch here that has had everything completely glued on and is ready for the next step, which is to get it ready to shoot finish on. Now you remember that mandolin number 1 is the oval hole mandolin here that we're getting ready to stain green. So now my daily work pattern is going to change. When I come to work tomorrow morning, I'm going to start right here. I'm going to wrap a piece of binding, a piece of binding, a piece of binding, and a piece of binding. But I'm not going to come back and do another piece. Once I've done the circle one time, then I'm done. And I'm going to go to work on this one and do whatever it takes to make it ready for the finish. And so that's going to change the work pattern for the day. And it is, like I said, Wednesday about 2 o'clock. Usually takes about 2 days to get one ready to shoot finish on from this point here. And usually Fridays is sort of a short day for me. And so whether I can, I'm sitting here wondering whether I can actually get the stain on this by Friday or not. All I know to say right at this point is we'll do our best. We'll see. It'll either get put on Friday or Monday. Now occasionally I'll go off on what around here they call a wild hair and just carve a bowl or a cigar store Indian or just a mermaid or something crazy. And I have a abstract violin sculpture that I made 2 or 3 years ago that just sits around here and collects dust. And I thought maybe somebody out there might want to set that on their desk. So let me show you that. It's one of the items for the yard sale. Don't go away. By the way, we'll be right back with a green mandolin. I have this abstract violin sculpture. I made it. Happened to just be looking at a piece of cherry wood, and for some reason or another this flashed in my mind, and so I spent an unusual amount of time and hours in bringing this shape out. It's finished in Danish oil, sitting on a white base. And like I said, I've got hour after hour bringing this shape out of my mind and onto this piece of wood. I'm going to ask $150 for it, and that will be item number 8 on the yard sale. Just a few minutes ago, I finished putting this stain on the green mandolin and the first tack coat. So I do indeed have a bright green mandolin here, and here's some footage of me actually making that mandolin green. And I would also like to say that I'm just going to show kind of bits and pieces for this video, but I am going to run a bonus footage video, just like I have 2 or 3 times in the recent past, with I just turn the camera on and let it go. So if you're interested in watching the entire process of me taking this mandolin from the white and turning it green, check on the bonus footage video for episode 100, and there should be a link to that on the end of this video. So I'll be right back. Here's some stuff of the mandolin being turned green. Curls showing good. I neglected to say that this mandolin is supposed to get gold hardware, and that will actually probably be a pretty thing, the green and gold hardware. So now I would like to share with you a tool that I bought a long time ago. I was going to make a buffing wheel out of it, and I never did. I made another kind of buffing wheel, and so I'd like to get rid of that. If somebody's interested in a small benchtop buffing wheel, I've got just the thing for them. Take a look at it. Feel free to call me or email me if you're interested. And I've got some banjo parts that are left over from the music store that shut down about 20 years ago. So I'll show that. Don't go away. I'll be right back, and don't go away. I'll be right back. Now this thing right here I've had around the shop for a long time, and my original intentions were to turn this into a buffing wheel. It mounts on I was going to mount it on a bench top and put a little wash machine motor on it and find me a polishing pad to go on it, this end right here, and just have my own little personal buffer. And you know what, I eventually wound up building a bigger double buffer, and I just don't need this anymore. So I'm going to ask $5 for it, and I guarantee you the shipping to you will probably be a whole lot more than that. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask $5 for this thing plus whatever shipping it gets to you, and it's going to be item number 9 in the yard sale. Yard sale item number 10 is a bunch of banjo parts that come out of a music store that was closed down about 20 years ago. Let me show them to you. I'm going to price all this stuff just as one whole large batch, but I do have some individual prices for these things that I looked up on the internet, so you'll have some idea as to what they're worth. All these buttons here, these are just tuner buttons. They're about 22 bucks for all of those if you bought them retail. Here's 44 pieces of round hooks with the nuts attached. Believe it or not, if you order them one at a time, that entire mess will cost about 300 bucks, what you're looking at right here. Here's 3 banjo bridges, one straight and 2 compensated ones. They're about $7 or $8 a piece, so there we have $20, $21. Here's the T-bracket resonator attachment stuff. Believe it or not, about 40 bucks. Here are brackets for the tailpiece hanger brackets, and they're pretty expensive as well, about the same, $40 give or take if you bought all of those. They're not $40 a piece, but if you just bought that many in a bag. Here's some kind of little old hook and bracket, I don't know, $2 or $3. Here is a coordinator rod set. Coordinator rod sets, if you buy them, are about $35 now. Here's some extra hooks and nuts that are not the same size as the first ones that you looked at. And I don't remember how many there are of those, 10 or 11. They're about the same amount of money. They usually cost about $4 or $5 a piece. Here is a brand new Banjo Armrest. Retail price on it's about 26 bucks. T-wrenches right there. They're about $6 or $8 a piece. Here's some other hooks or a resonator attachment stuff right there, $25. Here's a tension hoop. I priced that on the internet this morning, $94. And here is just some oddball stuff that doesn't match any of the other sizes. Some brand new hooks and nuts. And then we have 5 or 6 used tuning keys that would be good for parts, buttons, washers, that sort of thing. Oh, and one of those old slide 5th string capos for banjos. So that is what we've got for sale. So I added up the price for all these parts, and believe it or not, if you bought them at current retail prices, it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $725. And so I'm thinking a nice fair price to get rid of this stuff pretty quick would be $150. Let me know if you're interested. So that's about all I have for you this week. I'd like to say thank you so very much for staying with me to the very end. You have no idea how much I appreciate your comments and your likes, and please continue. Pass this video and share this video with your friends, and we do it every week, as you know. Hopefully we'll see you again next week on the next episode 101 of the Ratliff Mandolins Weekly Production Diary. And until then, my name is Audie, and I'm signing off.